Welcome everybody, welcome to the IWINETC series, 10 Grape Escape Destinations to Wine For in 2021. We're on Grape Escape destination number 9 right now, and that's Umbria. And we're delighted to have with us Chiara Lungarotti, who's going to present on behalf of the Movimento de Turismo de Vino, Umbria, and is Vice President of the same. So welcome, Chiara.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell you about my wonderful region of Umbria, the Greenheart of Italy.
Right, good. We're looking forward to it. Of course, for those who attended way back in 2012, we had the International Wine Tourism Conference in Umbria, and we were able to discover the wine and culinary delights of the region, as well as neighboring Marche and Campania. I think rings a bell. Yes. Campania. Okay, so as always, before we start, I draw your attention to the chat on the right, where you can say hello from wherever you might be in the world. So Jeff saying buonasera from Connecticut, USA. Jean or Jean from Montreal. Porto, we've got Sirius, Judith in England, Anna also from Portugal, and Galway in Ireland. Hi there, Anne, welcome. It's the second person from Ireland we've had in the audience. And Tomohiro Sato, they're from Japanese restaurants in New York.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there's a sommelier for, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a sommelier for several Japanese restaurants, and is actually a wine buyer, as well as involved in wine tourism. Hi there, Tricia, that's from New York. So I think she was with us in Umbria back in 2012. Okay, let's get to the poll question for this talk. Which is the oldest appellation? Sorry, let me publish that for you so you can see it. Which is the oldest appellation of origin of Umbria? Is it A, Orvieto, DOC, B, Montefeltro Sagrantino, C, Trasmiento, DOC, or Trasimeno, sorry, or is it Torjano, DOC? Torjano, pronounced correctly, I think.
Perfect.
So all vote now, and of course, as always, a special prize at the end for those of you who get it correct. So 60% going for Orvieto, nobody going for Torjano. Give you a few more seconds and we'll close the poll. Of course, the answer to the questions in the presentation, so listen out for that. Okay. Okay, so Chiara, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony, and thank you to all of you. As I was saying before, thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell you about my beloved Umbria region, also known as the Greenheart. Oops, quickly. About Umbria, that's known, it's the region known as the Greenheart of Italy, because we are right in the center of our wonderful country. And we are known for our pristine landscape, for our rich cultural heritage, but we are known especially for our great quality of life. Great part of which is good food and good wine, of course. We are also known for the authenticity of our lifestyle. We are part, Movimento Turismo del Vino is part of the regional movement, is part of the national one. That's an association that's been operating in Italy since more than 25 years. The goal is to promote and to announce all the wine territories of our country, giving visitors the opportunity to experience personally the wine, not just the wineries, but all what the wine stands for in our territories. And many wineries also offer not just tour and tasting, but as we will see soon later, many wineries also offer great opportunity of hands-on experience in the vineyards as well as indoor. Umbria, in Umbria we have 2 DOCG appellation, that's Torjano Rosso Riserva and Montefalco. Torjano is one of the smallest DOC area of Italy, and we have 14 DOC. The main indigenous varietal in the Montefalco area, of course, is Sagrantino. In the rest of Umbria, all over Umbria, among the red, we have Sangiovese, and among the whites, we have Grechetto. And in the Trasimeno Lake area, it's very present a varietal called Gamay del Lago. That is not a real Gamay, but it's a kind of a Grenache. It's a Grenache. And that makes lovely wines. So Umbria is a region very in which the presence of wine, of vineyards and wine dates back to Etruscan times. And it's a really deep part, as all over Italy, of our history, of our culture, of our tradition. In 2020, we have noticed an increasing of almost 250% compared to the previous year, 2019, in internet searches about Umbria wine and food tourism. And of course, we are really happy about these numbers, because they are really a proof of how much of the big work that Movimento Turismo del Vino is doing to promote wine culture, wine tourism culture, and to help wineries to welcome, to receive more and more people to welcome. So the unique combination of food and wine culture, of religion's highlight for Christianity. Just think that we are here today. I am in Torjano, where my family is based, and we are just 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers away from Assisi. That's the homeland of St. Francis. But we also have, Umbria is also known to be a very mystic region, with a very rich presence of monasteries since Middle Age and convents since Middle Age. And of course, we gave the birth, our region gave the birth also to very important saints, not just San Francis, San Francesco, but also San Benedetto or Santa Chiara or Santa Scholastica, just to name few. So it's a very, the golden age for this region has been Middle Age. So we have plenty of these small medieval little town or villages on the top of the hills or on mid hills, still perfectly preserved, that are great touristic attraction, and where you can find a very authentic life in a contact with the nature, and in a great respect of all what our traditions are since ever. So we always try to communicate to the visitors this authentic lifestyle we have. So nature and culture, as I was saying before, nature and culture for what concern this, not just the cultivated landscape or the beautiful medieval, this is Assisi or Orvieto towns, But we also have wonderful waterfalls like the Cascata delle Marmore. We have all the Apennines, and the most distinctive point of this landscape are the rolling hills. Rolling hills that on several layers towards the skyline that are very typical, with the very typical colors of Umbria. Well, we have in Umbria, usually we have a wide representation with Movimento Turismo del Vino of the whole region. And our wineries offers usually wine tours, wine tasting, wine and food pairings, but also hands-on experience that are more and more required by the tourist. Even if they come just to visit one or two wineries, or even they are Italian wine lovers that want to visit more wineries to understand even more deep the essence, the true essence of the territory. So all of our wineries make a very attentive selection of fine local cured meats. Well, cured meats, it's something very typical of Umbria. Just think that the Italian name for cured meats, it's Norcineria, and Norcia is a medieval town in southern part of Umbria that was also the homeland town of San Benedetto. In Norcia, there was, during the Middle Age, there was near Norcia, in a little village near Norcia called Preci, there was a very famous surgery school during Middle Age. And tradition says that the capability of the surgeons of that time was also due to the fact that there was a very deep tradition in cured meat. So in use all the parts of the pork to produce these cold cuts. But also cheeses are very important in this region, mainly sheep cheese, the pecorino, with all the different kind of maturations and of aging, but also goat cheese, and in a small part, very small part, cow milk. And then we do have extra virgin olive oil. That's the great other column of Umbria agriculture. And most of our member wineries produce not just wines, but also they also produce their own extra virgin olive oil. Of course, pulses, especially lentils, but also chickpeas is another famous part of our table. In the bottom right picture, you see the cooking inside the fire heaven of the very typical indigenous bread of Umbria that we also call torta al testo. Torta al testo is a very thin, it's not very thin, it's a thin bread that has not been grown with yeast, but stays flat. And usually it's cooked in the fire, in the fire heaven. And then it's also stuffed with either with ham or with roasted sausages and wild herbs and cooked wild herbs. But going back to the activities and to the opportunities of living in an authentic way our region, we all our member wineries offers either open air or indoor activities. We go from the harvest experience to hands-on cooking class experience in many of our vineyards, but there is also the possibility of riding or horse riding or trekking in our vineyards. And why not in fall, especially in fall, sometimes also in summertime, but mainly in fall, there is the truffle hunting. That's really fun to do in the small woods or in the woods on the Apennines or in the small woods among the vineyards. Some wineries also offer not just the opportunity of having an harvest experience, but also offers the opportunity to have a crashing, an old-style crashing experience with feet. That's always fun, especially for people who have no idea. But more and more, especially after the pandemic, the open air activities and the open air offers have really increased and have really increased a lot, especially last year. And we are also preparing for this 2021 summer with many picnic experience. We have either a deal with the national organization with this picnic chic, but that's the first Italian picnic experiences web portal. But many of our wineries also organize their own picnic with traditional local food and wine that people can bring and eat and enjoy in the middle of the vineyards. But concerning sports, that's another great part of open air activity is Nordic walking, bike tours, wine safari, horse riding, and the wineries usually organizes guided Nordic walking tours or guided bike tours among the their vineyards, but the tourists are also left to organize them in a total freedom by themselves, just following some maps. More and more, as all over around the world, also in Umbria, wineries have become wedding locations, either for a little bit more rustic wedding and accommodation like the one we see in these pictures, but also for more elegant accommodations all over the region in these astonishing and outstanding places that really make you feel at 360 degrees this wonderful rolling hills, so smooth, so round, so relaxing all around. That's a fantastic landscape for a gorgeous party. Hopefully that we will be able to go back to organize them very soon. The hospitality in this region offers a very wide range of opportunity. We go from the traditional agriturismo, that means old farmhouses restored either into apartments or into small studios or into independent villas among the vineyards. But there are also many beautiful B&B opportunities, as well as hotel 4 and 5 stars boutique hotel all around Umbria. As we can see in some of these pictures, like this nice wine chalet in a beautiful hotel near Todi, or this other beautiful hotel near Orvieto in a middle-age old structure, or the atmosphere of the 5-star boutique hotel here in Torjano with the wine spa. But beside the hospitality at the winery and the hospitality for the night and for eating among the vineyards, in Umbria we have a real jewel. That's the wine museum. The Torjano Wine Museum, that's considered by New York Times the best of Italy and one of the most famous worldwide, in which they have rebuilt the history of wine and of its links with all the Mediterranean civilizations since the beginning till nowadays. And this through ethnographic collections, of course, but mainly through ceramic collection from Middle Age to nowadays, through archaeological collections, through ancient editing, through engravings, and through glasses collections. We see here a cap by Jean Cocteau, realized by Egidio Costantini, that was a great Venetian master who worked with all the great masters, all the great painters of the 20th century. Thanks to the action of the Movimento Turismo del Vino, in 2019, in Italy arrived a law that regulates the wine tourism and has also under a bureaucratic point of view. Because till now, every winery who wanted to organize wine tourism activity was able to do, especially if member of Movimento Turismo del Vino was able to do. But under bureaucratic point of view, and you know that unfortunately Italy is a little bit a bureaucratic country, tiny bit, joke apart, we needed to have also a regulation all under administrative as well as fiscal point of view. And this arrived with this law that also brought a great other plus to the wine tourism. That is to say, the 10 mandatory minimum quality standard that every winery that wants to open the doors to wine tourism has to respect. So we got from the weekly or seasonal opening of minimum 3 days. We go to an attentive sign system with all the winery opening hours and contacts, nice parking offered to the visitors, glassware in crystal or glass, specifically well-trained hospitality staff, infos about the wines, about the winery, about the state, at least in 3 languages. The opportunity of booking the visit, not just by phone, but also online. And a website that, of course, has to work perfectly. And the opportunity for the tourist of finding in the winery all information about the territory under a touristic point of view, under a food and wine point of view, under a local art and handcraft, architecture and landscape point of view. That is to say, making the winery a kind of a touristic hub for people who want to know deeper that territory. Recently, very recently, just a month ago, was created also a consortium to support the tourism and to enlarge the tourism for the other great column of Umbria agriculture, that's extra virgin olive oil. And so it was born the Movimento Turismo dell'Olio, and the one open here in Umbria has been the first regional Movimento Turismo dell'Olio, and together with other regions, they have we have created the national Movimento Turismo dell'Olio, the national association consortium as well. The goal of Movimento Turismo dell'Olio is to promote olive oil culture and to welcome visitors in to know, to get acquainted with the source, with the place that are the source of this fantastic product, like olive orchards and mills all over the region of Umbria. Umbria, Movimento Turismo dell'Olio presents a national calendar of events, like ABC Olio, that's a study day, or Olivo Day, that's a day about divulgation, information, and education on olive and olive oil as well, and on its culture. That's addressed mainly to consumers and gourmet, while ABC Olio is for professional mainly. Movimento Turismo dell'Olio in Umbria is active not just in participating to the national events, but also promoting the visit both of olive experts as well as new lovers of extra virgin olive oil to our orchards that are such a distinctive part of our landscape, as well as vineyards. And it's fun because the presence of vineyards as well as olive orchard in this region is always dated back to Etruscan times. It was thanks to these fantastic people when they arrived in Umbria. They brought wheat, they brought olive oil, they brought olive oil, and they brought vineyards and wine. And they also took away all the dumps from the bottom of the valleys, and they turned these soils into agriculture soil, especially for the planting of the wheat. So wine, olive, and wheat is what in Italy we call the millenary triad. The essential bond between olive and Umbria is also proved by the presence in our region of two olive oil museums, the Olive Oil Museum of Torjano and the Olive Oil Culture Museum in Trevi. And in one, it's more, it's a little part of botany, and then lots about the history of oil and olive oil, and also about all the different uses that these products has been having through the centuries, while the other is more related to the botanics with the different varietals, so the different parts of the tree, and the approach to the olive oil and the different history. So this is just to tell you how much Umbria is advocated to welcome our visitors, both wine lovers as well as olive oil lovers, but we can say gourmet lovers, or people who are simply looking for, and we know that especially after the pandemic, it will be like that. People will be more and more looking for authenticity, looking for simplicity, for tradition, for conviviality, for good lifestyle, good living, sustainability, and whatever, and that are all synonymous of our fantastic Umbria region. So I truly hope that you will manage to come to visit us, among the smooth and rolling hills in all the season of the year, from springtime to fall, with these wonderful foliage colors that you see in the last pictures of my presentation. Looking forward to welcome you in Umbria. Thank you for your attention. Grazie.
Great, looks great. Beautiful colors there. All right, so if you want to ask a question to Chiara, please post there on the right, on the chat there. And while you're thinking of a question, I'm sure there's quite a big audience today. So they've been I think they've been mesmerized by the wine and culinary delights of the region, and things you can do in and around the region, getting fit, sport, and so on. Remember, we did, of course, the International Wine Tourism Conference back in 2012, and I have a question about how has the wine tourism, since we were there, how has it evolved? I know you've got these 10 commandments. I don't think you had back in 2012. So that's something I see has evolved. And then you've got also the MTO. So I mean, how have you seen the wine tourism develop since 2012? Like 10 years now.
Yes, my God, it's crazy how time flies away. But we can say, first of all, the 10 mandatory rules that the law, to which the laws obliges the wineries who want to make wine tourism activities, have taken inspiration from the 10 commandments of Movimento Turismo del Vino. So let's say that all our member wineries were already respecting them already 10 years ago. Now, in the meantime, many other wineries have come to life. And many of these started to be member, either very small or bigger, but many of them have become members of our Movimento Turismo del Vino. Because what we try to do is we organize all over Italy, we organize 4 great events in the year. Cantine Aperte the last Sunday of May, and then an event on the 10th, around the 10th of August, called Calici di Stelle, and then the Cantine Aperte in harvest time in September, and Cantine Aperte in San Martino. San Martino is at the beginning of November, when in Italian tradition the new wine was ready to be enjoyed. Well, these are different, and then there is another one for Christmas. But these events we organize as all the other regions, but what we try to do is to bring tourists in our wineries all over the year. We made an agreement with the local hotel association to give them the opportunity to present also wine tourism as an activity to do for the people, for their clients, who usually in the morning go to the reception desk and ask, could you please help me in organizing my day, or even by fall in advance? So now many of our hotels in Umbria know that they can send with great result and great effect their clients to our Movimento Turismo del Vino member wineries. But we also organizing updating classes for both in welcoming activities, as well as in the bureaucratic aspects, as well as in many other aspects of wine tourism life. We organize training classes, training staff for our member wineries people. More and more young people who come out from university or special schools we have here in Umbria, who well speaks foreign languages, find a job in hospitality in the wineries. So it's something that has an extremely positive effect on the local wine tourism. Is something that has an extremely positive effect in the local life and the local economy. And as you know, it's a welcome tourist is the best advertising that a winery can ever have. So our wineries know that. So you can see the difference in going into a Movimento Turismo del Vino and other, or in a winery not member of Movimento Turismo del Vino. Beside that, we organized this, we gave birth to this Movimento Turismo dell'Olio, because in this region, these two products are so identitary of the region, of the places. And many wineries member of Movimento Turismo del Vino are also members of the MTO. But MTO has been created also by people who are experts, who are focusing on olive oil and extra virgin olive oil. And so it's really something that can be a teamwork, extremely complementary, one to the other. That's part of what we have been doing, but we also work a lot on the website, on the website, and that increasing we had last year of more than 250% in food and wine research about Umbria was really, we were really happy when we learned this data, because it means that we are doing in the proper way. Of course, we should work much more with social, but we will do step by step. We will also get there.
Good. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Continued success. Where there's wine, there's olive oil, or where there's olive oil, there's usually wine. Right. Somebody's asking, well, in private, I hasten to add, picked up on, you mentioned you're passionate about one activity, which was truffle hunting. But she's asking, how does that work exactly?
It's fun because truffle hunting, usually people who look for truffles are truffle hunters that go around in the wood very early in the morning, usually, with their dog. And their dog the dog smells the truffles, especially below certain plant, certain kind of oak trees, and some other special plants. So when they go around, the dog starts to smell and starts to dive. How do you say Anthony? With
scratch
the leaves. The soil, to scratch the soil with a path, and they find the truffle, and they try to take, because they are very. They love this kind. The dogs love truffles, and they hope to eat it. And the hunter instead takes it and gives something to eat to the dog. So many wineries organize with truffle hunters they know, either in their estate, if they are so lucky to have truffles in their estate, or in the wood on the Apennine hills, or on the hills around their wineries.
So,
truffles, it's something very common. We have truffles in our garden, for instance.
I see. So the chance of success is high if you're on a truffle hunt.
For black summer truffle is high. For the Nero Pregiato di Norcia is not so high. It's much tougher. Well, for white truffle, it's really, really difficult to be able to go in those places. Usually the truffle hunting is related mainly to black truffles.
Okay, so truffle hunting in Umbria, just one of many activities to consider.
And then also remember that this is also famous for chocolate. This region is also famous for chocolate. And so there is also the opportunity to have chocolate classes at the Chocolate Museum we have in Perugia, or we have the opportunity to cook with some big mamas or with famous local chefs. All the wineries are extremely have extremely variegated offers for all kinds of interest and for all kinds of budget.
Okay, great. Judith saying, looking forward to visiting there. Urania from Greece saying, beautiful region.
Looking forward to welcome you.
Trisha saying, thank you, Chiara, for the great update. It's been too long since I was in Umbria. Lovely again from Judith, and lots of positive comments are there on the presentation. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
The answer to the poll question, I didn't catch the answer. What was the answer to the?
Well, the answer we can even if it's the smallest area in Umbria, Torjano has been the first DOC. We received the DOC here in 1968. It was number 5, first in Umbria and number 5 in Italy. Then arrived Orvieto, and later on arrived in 1979 Montefalco. Giorgio Lungarotti, my father, was the man who put Umbria in the world wine map, and he was really believing in the fantastic wine potential of this region. And so he was always driving around the region every year. Once a year, he was driving the president and the vice president of the DOC committee to show them that this region was deserving different DOC areas. And it was like that arrived the first the Orvieto, then Montefalco, then Trasimeno, then Colli Perugini, then the Todi DOC that's near the Colli Martani, and all the others DOC area that arrived one after the other, till arriving to 14 now.
Okay, so 8% of you voted for Torjano, so 8% of you, that 8% of you are correct and win the special prize, which is the presentation you've just seen, or if you're watching replay. Well, you won't be able to get it if you're watching replay, but you can contact the MTV Umbria, and they'll be, I'm sure, delighted to send you more information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So looking forward to see you in Umbria, and thank you, Anthony, for this wonderful opportunity you gave us to tell people about this fantastic Greenheart of Italy.
Well, it's great to get an update since we were last in Umbria. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. So it just leaves me to say that next week, the 25th of March, I think next Thursday, is the final Grape Escape destination to wine for in the series. And we're going to England, and we'll be visiting Kent. Have you visited Kent, Chiara?
Yes, several years ago. I should go back because I would love to know the present wineries and present winemaking of England.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to join us in Kent next week, I've just posted the link there at the top. If you want to register for free,
Thank you.
You're welcome to join us and discover Kent as the Grape Estate destination, and of course England being the birthplace of sparkling wine before champagne. So there we are. But hope to see you next week, 25th of March 2021, 4 o'clock Central European Time. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chiara.
Grazie.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, bye. Arrivederci.